Hello, everybody. So today I have kind of urgent news. I think that things are progressing faster than we may expect. As you can see here, there's an article from express.co.uk involving a British anthropologist by the name of Dr. Paul Warner claims that he may have found the body of Jesus Christ along with the Ark of the Covenant under the Great Pyramid of Egypt. So all this comes out on, at least this article comes out on April 15th, 2025, which was this Tuesday. And at the time of this recording, this video, it's April 19th. But why it's urgent is because there are things that are playing out that I think that we all kind of know, that at least most of us know. Dr. Warner claims that there's a chamber at the south passageway behind a second cave. There's like a stone block there, and he believes that there's the Ark of the Covenant along with the body of Jesus Christ. Right here it says that he pinpointed the exact location using the scientific method and triangulated the data from the text of all three Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So here he says that pretty much he was able to look at ancient cuneiform clay tablets of Mesopotamia and validated his hypothesis via the words Mount Sinai, Mount of Israel, Mount of Olives, Mount Zion, and even in the Quran where it says Mountain of Light. He says that all these mounts and mountains and all these names are synonymous with the Great Pyramid of Egypt. So he thinks that Jesus actually delivered his Sermon on the Mount on the Great Pyramid. Furthermore, GARP, G-A-R-P, is saying that there's a more detailed archive on garp.space, and there he presents his binary star theory, and that's in relation to the ancient Egyptian art and the winged disc symbol of Lower Egypt. So the winged disc symbol of Lower Egypt is, I believe, has ties to Sumerians, Anunnaki, and Nibiru. Why this is all urgent is it's not just a simple claim that, like, hey, we think we found the body of Jesus Christ, but it's more of like the idea of, we're mixing all these things like quantum theory, right? Right here it says that he uses quantum theory to demonstrate that religious prophecy is rooted in science as evidence in the government-sponsored projects of today. So the government-sponsored projects of today, what is that? If you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, there were the news came out just randomly. These documents have been out there for a while on a CIA.gov. It's been declassified, but it talks about Mars exploration. Well, they were actually doing remote viewing. Right here, you can see that they were trying to look for certain information on, or at least the remote viewer was given a specific coordinate, and that once they're there, they have to describe what they see. And in this remote viewing session, explains that they saw a pyramid, and they explained the pyramid, and they saw these beings, really large beings, and they saw megalithic things that looked like an obelisk, and these beings were wearing very tight, like leather calf skin. They're doing these occultic practices, like remote viewing, astral projection, to try to find any intelligence, any information. So that's one thing that was kind of like talked about recently. This is from May 22nd, 1984. So another one was right here from the New York Post. It talked about Soviet clash with aliens who witnesses turned soldiers to stone. So this is, I guess, the Soviet had ran into some aliens or UFO. They fired on them. They crashed. 5 beings emerged. They turned into like an egg or something like that, where they merged into one thing, and then a huge blast went off, and the blast caught a couple of the Soviet soldiers and turned them into limestone. Or at least the ones that were in the shadows were not turned into limestone. And this is from, I believe, a Ukrainian intelligence. But there's you can search this up too. This is all out there. So it's a 250-page KGB report on the events. Another article that recently came out that kind of coincides with what we're talking about right now is the CIA had confirmed that Ark of the Covenant's existence using remote viewing. So same thing, they remote viewed, used remote viewing to try to find the Ark of the Covenant, and supposedly there were beings that were guarding, or entities that were guarding the Ark of the Covenant. And I think this goes alongside like Ron Wyatt's claim you can look that up too. So you have all these things going on. You have GARP, right? Last thing we read was about GARP. Up here, garp.space. You can go to garp.space and you can see exactly what they're kind of looking into. Click on celestial phenomena. Like you have these things that they think is the pillar of smoke from Exodus. These things that look like stars, right? So there's some phenomenon. Here's the winged sun disk symbol that they're talking about from say ancient Egyptian symbology, but it's also in Sumerian symbology as well. So it has to do with like the Anunnaki, like I said. So I don't know if this circle is supposed to represent something like a UFO or the sun, but usually when there's wings, it means like flight. There's these red anomaly things. These are all videos that you can go on and click on. They're using biblical verses to kind of match what they observed. Here you go, Babylonian harbinger, end of days, ancient of days, etc. So, but the point is that I want to kind of capitalize on is this part right here. So they're saying quantum theory, right? Religious prophecy. They think that our government is using all those things today, and they are. And then there's an experimental scientist named Stephen A. Schwartz. He published papers on non-local consciousness or channeling. Like, again, like using psychics, and they're thinking that this non-local consciousness or channeling is prophecy as well, prophesying. And right here it says, Warner says it is prophecy by another name, or put it another way, the ability to experience future space-time events while rooted in the present. I think that we're playing out things that are kind of mixed with like UFOs, New Age mysticism, things like, you know, pretty mixture of Abrahamic religions. It's kind of funny I said that, right? Because like the Abrahamic Accord is to bring peace, right, in the Middle East. Well, Dr. Warner also believes that the discovery for this is will lead to potential peace in the Middle East. So he wants it to be removed, and he wants the Ark to be displayed as the jewel of the Nile at the opening of the new Grand Egyptian Museum, right next to the pyramid site in Giza. So I think that when you look at this, and you can easily claim, okay, well, yeah, this is BS. Obviously, Jesus resurrected, and you know his body's not underneath the pyramid. But you have to think, why are they doing this? Why are they setting out all this information out with the Mars exploration, with remote viewing, the declassified war era CIA files with where soldiers got turned into limestone, and then remote viewing of the Ark of the Covenant? Why are they doing all this? You know, I think that it's just part of the end times age where there's going to be a great deception. There's going to be a great falling away. People follow what they want to follow. There's already things involved with a mixture of Christianity and New Age mysticism, where they believe there's a false light. There's like the false light movement. I'm not sure exactly, but they pretty much they twist the Bible and they try to make it special in their own way, and that everybody else is false and they're the true light. And you just gotta have discernment and pray about these things, and really use your Bible to kind of dictate and find the truth. So, speaking of the Bible, the verse that comes to my mind comes from Matthew 24. Matthew 24 is when Jesus left the temple. He was talking to his disciples on the Mount of Olives, and the disciples are asking, "Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?" So Jesus, the first thing he says is, "Take heed that no man deceive you." And I am reading the KJV right here. "Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many." And then he talks about all the things that are to come. But at the end of it, right, he says again, "Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers." Kind of cool there, huh? Secret chambers, because what is the name of this article? Found in hidden chambers. Hidden secret. What about this article? What do you know? Jesus Christ in a secret chamber. Where is the pyramid located? The desert. So there's things that are playing out, and they're playing out accordingly. And we have a short time. I think, I don't know the timeline exactly. It doesn't matter. Live your life accordingly. Make sure you're doing your best. try to overcome, live your life as Christ wants you to live, and share this news. Share it with your friends and family. A book written thousands and thousands of years ago. This verse alone, wherefore they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert. Right? At first, you're probably thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's just a false Christ appearing in the desert. And then out of nowhere, behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe it not. So I don't know what's going to play out if they're ever going to break down that stone, or if they're going to go inside. What are they going to do? I'm not sure. But this verse comes to my mind, and I just feel like it's an urgent call. This message is for Christians, but anybody that's out, kind of like on the fence, search out your heart, and there's so many things that point to Jesus. Jesus, the truth, the light, the way. He is it. He's a real deal. Believe on Jesus, and you shall have eternal life. So keep your eyes open. I think that summer truly is nigh, and for everybody else that doubts and does not believe, well, all I can say is things are going to happen, and just keep it in the back of your head and don't just throw it away. I think that you should take in information and hold on to it. I don't think you should just quickly disregard if you're a skeptic. But let's just say you're also a Christian, and you're one of those Christians that don't look at this world in a supernatural way and just kind of look at it as like, well, my family's been Christian, so I'm Christian. Well, listen, you're living in one of the greatest stories ever. You're living in a time that has never been before. So don't live your life away and squander it away with unrighteous things that don't matter. Make sure you have love in your heart and all this. All the watchmen out there, share this with your friends and family, and just this is getting real. I mean, these articles right here, April 15th. Now look up garp.space. Look into it. They're gonna Hall of Records. Like recently there was the finding of the structures found underneath one of the pyramids, not Giza, right? Not the main one, but like I think it started with the pyramid. I forgot which one, but they found this large structure underneath, and they think that the Hall of Records is located there. Which has to deal with Thoth, right? So don't believe into this whole New Age idea. I think they're going to try to merge it with where they say like Jesus is, he went to there and got initiated in and learned from the secret text, and next thing you know, like you have to really test these things out. And we're living in one of those times where you're going to start seeing things happen after like from the Bible. Like this is prophecy at best, right? I don't really have a scripted video for you guys. I just want to share this with you all raw. I tried recording this a couple times, but weirdly I ran across a lot of problems trying to record this video. Tried recording my iPhone, tried recording on my camera, and I just had problem after problem. So I don't think the enemy wants me to get this video out, but I finally found a solution. I hope that this video gets shared with your friends and family. Leave a like, and if you find anything else on these things. Oh, one more thing, Stephen A. Schwartz. He is one of the experimental scientists, right? He published on non-local consciousness, talks about channeling, and Warner says that it's prophecy by another name, right? Well, Stephen A. Schwartz, right? He has like what? Yeah, you're probably wondering what does this have to do with aliens? Well, in this article, this guy right here, a novel of aliens and consciousness. He wrote a book back then called Awakening, and he does remote viewing, right? Remote viewers, right? Talks about like future, like coming into the future. Talks about archaeology. Talks about medicine and healing. So I think it's just one of those things where you're gonna see a lot of new age stuff come out. Maybe I'll have a video where I show my research on these topics in a better format than just me rambling on. Letting my brain go off the wall. The spirituality, the mixture of ideas like non-local consciousness, or this new, like I'm gonna go over and try to break down all these new age thoughts and kind of just warn people about what they're trying to do. Really easy to fall into and believe these things because you feel like you want to belong somewhere, and you want to go somewhere that's like, I don't want to be a Christian, I don't want to be a Buddhist, I don't want to be a Muslim. Like, you don't want to go to like an established religion or something like that in your head, but like at the end of the day, like it's really worrisome, because I think that these things are growing at a really fast rate. I'll try to follow up and maybe create another part to this video. I just want to get this message out because I think that the time is ticking and people aren't taking it serious. And if they are, great, but time's ticking. So with that, God bless you guys. Have a good Easter, and just leave a comment below if you agree, disagree. It doesn't matter. If you find anything else regarding to this topic, or you have anything to add to, I would love to look into it, research it, and if it's something I can present, I'd love to do that as well. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate it. Make sure you try to share. Give me a subscribe if you want. Bookmark it, doesn't matter. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm just trying to get this, out there, So thank you guys.